Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Curtis, and today I'm going to do a review for Zatima, Season 4, Episode 6. The episode starts off with Angela. She is walking through the building. She's looking for Fatima, so she goes into Fatima's office, and she starts talking to who she believes to be Fatima because the lady, she has the same hairstyle, has the same outfit, so one would assume it would be Fatima, especially because she's in the office. So she's just like, hey, Fatima, and the lady's just kind of like basically kind of like, don't you see me doing something? And so Angela says again, like, Fatima. And then once again, it's just like this. And so she's like, you know what? I'll see your rude ass later. And so she ends up walking out. And as she's walking through the hallway, who did she run into? She runs into Fatima. She's like, how did you do that? Fatima's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I just saw you in your office. She was like, no, I was at my lunch break. What are you talking about? She's like, I just seen you in your office. Like, how were you able to teleport here? Like, what's going on? She's like, girl, are you crazy? Like, I just told you I just came back from my lunch break. Angela's like, I just saw you in your office. Like, I actually went to your office to see if you wanted to walk out together because I wanted to talk to you about what's going on with Bryce. And I was just like, Tyler. Listen to me, brother. I like Angela's character. I like Bryce's character. But when it comes to this storyline of Bryce being obsessed with Angela and Angela constantly bringing him in, then pushing him out, bringing him in, pushing him out, I am over this storyline. We got to figure out a way to split them up. It's time. It is really time. The team is just like, while I would love to hear about what's going on with you and Bryce, I actually have to stay late because I actually have an assignment. And so Angela's just like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. She's like, oh, no, don't be sorry. This is actually a good one. She's like, so what's going on? She was just kind of like, all right, don't tell nobody, but I'm actually working with Sage. And Angela's like, Sage? She's like, yeah, I'm working with Sage because, Sage is an R&B singer. Apparently she's a big deal. And so Angela, she gets super hyped. She's like, oh my God, I want to meet her. I want to meet her. And so Fatima does tell her that she was in the conference room, but she's not there right now. But she will make sure she introduces her to her when she gets a chance. Angela, being the supportive friend that she is, she's like, you know what? I know that you were going to do a good job. I know that you're going to impress her. You were going to kill it. If Fatima's like, thank you. And then they go their separate ways. So Angela, she's going to go to her car. And then Fatima, she's going to go to her office. But before she goes to the office, she does go to the reception area. And she puts some papers inside of a paper tray. And then she walks off. And then we see the lady, who we now know is Leslie's crazy ass. She actually walks to the reception area, takes the papers out of the tray, and then walks out. And speaking of Leslie, she goes to the hair salon where she ends up meeting up with Belinda. And she's like, hey, Belinda, I would like it if you would give me like a little touch up. And so she shows Belinda like a picture of what she, wants to get done. And Belinda is just like, I'm not really sure about that. She was like, what do you mean? She was like, I'm not sure if you have the right head shape for it. Like, your head is not really big enough for this type of hairstyle. Like, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try that. Maybe we can try to cut it in the back. And so Leslie, she does get a little, insecure because she's like, oh my God, I'm trying to be like Fatima, but I'm not really like the fit. But eventually she's just like, look, I'm really particular about how I want my hair and I really want it done this way. So if you could, please just get it done this way. And I'll try something else later on down the line. So Belinda was just like, okay, fine, that's cool. And so Leslie, she actually stands up and she's like, oh, my stomach. And then, of course, Belinda's like, be careful. She's like, oh, the baby. And I didn't even mention this in my episode 4 review, so I do apologize. But she's not even pregnant. That's a fake stomach. So she actually took the stomach off. Remember when she was sitting in a room, like, full of, like, pictures of Fatima? She has a fake stomach. She's not even pregnant. Like, what? Belinda finishes doing her hair. She's like, you know what, when it comes to like your hair, did you get your hair done for the baby shower? She's like, yes, my fiance is actually planning the baby shower, which of course mirrors what's going on with Fatima and Zach, because remember, Zach is planning the baby shower. And then she's like, you know what, but it's going to be like real small, real intimate. We're just going to invite, family, friends, and also some of my lawyer friends. Belinda is like, oh, so you are a lawyer. And she's like, no, I'm not a lawyer yet. I'm actually still in school. And she was like, oh, okay. And your fiance, can you tell me more about your fiance? Like, what does your fiance do? And she's like, oh, he's in real estate. She's like, And she's like, what? She was like, you sound very familiar. Like, you actually remind me of one of my homegirls. Like, it's just weird. It's like very similar. I was like, Belinda, she reminds you of Fatima. Run! Belinda, you need to get the fuck out of there before she tries to steal your identity. Like, I feel like at this point, she might try to stuff somebody inside of a trunk. Like, run! I do think it is important to note that, Leslie did give her a credit card, to make the payment. So she was able to find out that her name is Leslie. And so she ends up leaving, and then Belinda actually calls Fatima, and she tries to have a conversation with her like, hey, do you know this woman named Les? And then Fatima just cuts her off like, listen, I don't have time for this. I know that you're messy. You're probably calling me to tell me that a woman said that they had sex with Zach. Like, I don't have time for this. And Melinda's like, wait a minute, hold on. That's not even what I'm calling about. Fatima's like, listen, I don't want to hear this shit. I already know how you get down. I don't want to hear it. Just leave me alone. I got to work. Like, just get off of my phone. It looks like Fatima's getting ready to go off on her a little bit more, but then she stops because her stomach, like, she has a lot of pain. And Belinda's like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, it's probably just a baby kick. And she's like, are you sure? That sounds really bad. And she's like, listen, it's just a baby kick and I've experienced this. It's nothing. And so Belinda's like, look, I just want to talk to you about something else really quickly because clearly you don't want to talk about what I mentioned a little bit earlier. So I just want to talk about us and our friendship. Like, I really do miss our friendship. And Fatima's like, I'll be honest, I actually miss our friendship as well. And she's like, will we ever be able to get back to the place that we were? And Fatima's just like, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not mentally or physically in the best space to even be around you in this time. But I do feel like we can work on a friendship and we can work towards something in the future. But at this point right now, unfortunately, it's a no. We go over to Zach and he's actually at his anger management class and he runs into Lori. And I was looking at Lori and I was like, damn, she looks familiar. Where did I know her from? And then I was like, oh, wait. I know her. She's in the Big Job videos and also I think his name is Cornell, his videos as well. And I was just like, wow, it is something to see people go from like doing skits on YouTube to seeing them actually going on to like a TV show, whether it's on a streaming app or an actual like cable show. It is really nice to see. So congratulations to her. Zach and Lori, they're having a conversation, and then next thing you know, Dr. Reed comes in, and he lets Zach know that he is the leader of the group. He's the one that's going to run it. And of course, Zach is like, oh my God, I got to deal with you here too. Like, you were everywhere. Like, why won't you just leave me alone? During the meeting, Lori lets the class know that, she reached out to Nathan to have a conversation. And Nathan told her that, when it comes to them having a conversation, it's going to be on his terms when he feels like it. And she was like, normally, I'll get pissed, I'll get upset, but I just like, you know what? If that's how you want it, that's fine. I will do it on your terms. And Dr. Reed was like, you know what? I'm proud of you. In regards to Zach, it's the typical, this is my first time in anger management. I do not have an issue. Everybody else is the problem. And Dr. Reed is just like, you have a hard time accepting accountability. And he's like, no, it's not about me accepting accountability. It's about the fact that people are putting me in these situations. Like, if Jeremiah would have never put his hands on Fatima, I would have never got into a fight with Jeremiah. And if those people would have never recorded me beating up Jeremiah, then I probably wouldn't be in this situation. Dr. Reed realizes that talking to Zach is pretty much pointless, so he's like, just stand up. So Zach stands up and he pushes him. And Zach is like, what the fuck? And so then he pushes him again. And Zach is like, listen, I'm going to tell you, like, you may not want to do that shit again. And even Laura's like, I'm not sure if you want to do that. And so then Zach, he like turns his back and he's like, he's huffing and puffing. And he turns around and it looks like he's actually already punched Dr. Reed, but he stops himself. And Dr. Reed was like, see, you do have power. You do have control of your emotions. You see how you did that? That's what you need to do in the future. There was a quick scene after this in which Fatima, she's walking through the parking garage. She hears a loud noise. She turns around, but of course nobody's there. So she continues to walk to her car. And when she looks into her car, she notices that there's like a toy or something on the dash, which is like, how was that able to get up there? Like, that's suspicious. She just opens the door, sees it, and then she just continues on as if nothing happened. I'm like, it's not concerning to you that somebody opened your door and put a toy inside the dash? Like, Fatima, what's up? You from the hood, girl? We go to the projects because, of course, with Tyler Perry, the only time that he's going to show Connie if she's not in the hospital is if she's in the projects. So we see Connie. She's having a conversation with Jeremiah. And basically, she's expressing to him that she is concerned for his health and that she wants him to pretty much stop. And he says, like, I can't really stop doing drugs because, this is just my life. But also, he tells her that the last time that he got high, he actually saw his mom. And so Connie's like, look, your mom is gone. He's like, listen, I already know that. You don't have to tell me. But when I get high, I actually see her. So I cannot stop getting high. Because if I get high, I won't be able to see my mom. Connie continues to try to talk to him. And then he grabs her arm. And so I was actually concerned because I was looking at flashbacks to season 3. But he lets her arm go. And then he says, you know what? When it comes to his mom, he wants to be with her. And he feels like if he gets high, his mom is going to come back to him. She's going to take his arm, grab him, and she's going to take him with her. And so that is what he wants because he's tired of being on this earth. While he is talking, Connie, it looks like she's actually getting ready to fall over. Like, she actually starts to lean forward. And Jeremiah's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little lightheaded. And then she walks off. And then as far as with Jeremiah, he ends up walking off and he ends up going between two trash cans. Well, two garbage cans. And while he's between those garbage cans, he actually has this big ass needle. So he's getting ready to do drugs. And while he is doing drugs, he starts talking about all of the things that he has lost over the years. And then he starts to panic a little bit. He's like, oh God, oh God. And so it appears that the drugs that he has, I mean, they're all bad, but maybe it's not what he thought it was. And so he actually ends up passing out. So it's like, oh my God, what's going on with Jeremiah? And that is how the episode ends. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you could, please like, comment, share, subscribe. That would be great. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.